your deeds will ever be praised in song. Promised consort, return.
Can be a bit of a problem. watch out for Necros if I were you. He can be a bit of a problem. He can be a
Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty. Nikolai is mine and mine alone.
If you acknowledge any gods, start praying now.
Extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fell. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. My king, Morgoth, last of all kings. These foolish ambitions to rest.
Alrighty. So, welcome back. Unfortunately, still doing the same old, where I have not improved to the quality in which I would like it to be. But please, again, bear with me. This one is a little bit special and a little bit different. I was going to take a little bit more time. I did intend to start streaming sooner, both in terms of time and day. But things ended up happening to where I didn't actually have the ability to, kind of due to the stuff I covered in some of my Warframe streams. However, we are going to pop into a new character. Originally, I was actually going to I messed up. I put load by mistake, and it's going to take a second for this to back out. But like I was saying, originally I was going to just kind of continue one of the old ones that I was doing, but I decided with this particular build, or at least with the purposes of this stream, that doing a fresh character would probably be best. As you saw kind of briefly, I have quite a few characters, all of them sitting around, anywhere from 40-ish to 50 plus in level. So I've gotten through a sizable amount of the game, so I have played it. Originally I was going to record it just like I normally would record stuff. However, that did not work. I kept getting annoying audio glitches in terms of not necessarily my audio. Well, although I was having issues with my audio as well. Although I believe that was mostly the mic's fault and not having it plugged in. And, well, actually not even having it plugged in right, but one of the ports on my PC that I was plugging it into, I think it's not getting the proper amount of power anymore. And so that was having issues. So I used a different port, and that seemed to kind of fix it. But then I was getting just like normal, just like game audio issues where it would end up kind of breaking up and desyncing. And so I kind of ended up just like not liking any of that. And I also still wasn't getting like the video quality that I was particularly liking. I tried recording it a couple of different ways, never figured out a way to get it to work, and then ended up having to switch editing programs because I used to use HitFilm, but I started getting annoying issues with it as well, and then went to DaVinci, which is a little bit more complicated of an editing software, but it does have its perks, it has its benefits. But if you've seen any of my shorts, I have done, I've actually only covered like 2 of these. But I have played Lords of the Fallen. I like Souls-likes. On the channel, there's already Dark Souls 2. I wanted to do a Dark Souls 1 playthrough, although I didn't really get as far as I would like to with it, as well as Dark Souls 3, actually. Whilst I finished Dark Souls 1 and 2 just on my own time, and like I said, I recorded Dark Souls 2, I never got to finish Dark Souls 3. So that one kind of was annoying. Now, with this build, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. So the thing is, originally, I figured that this class is actually what I like using to start off, just because it's a good heavy-hitting class early on. It gets you your great swords really early. When I first played it, I used, I think it was this one. I want to say it was this one. But you do get a good variety of spells, weapons, armors early on, and I just found it easier in terms of just like going through the game and just personal preference, because I like great swords. Claymore was like a big weapon for me in every game from Dark Souls 1 all the way to Elden Ring. Especially Elden Ring, they did it really good justice in terms of, just being a fair, good game weapon starting out. But like I said, I kind of was torn on that for a while. I've tried every one of them except for Condemned, and I didn't do Exiled Stalker either. And I actually think I did do more instead infantry at one point. But I should have probably thought about this before I 100% started which character I actually want to go with. I am going to cheat a little bit. I kind of forgot how to do the thing I want to do. I want to switch to, it's actually, that works. It's already default. Oh god, no. Wait, is it this one? Okay, yeah, this one has a normal person's face. Like the other ones are like Potato Face and Old Hag, and we're not going with Potato Face and Old Hag. At least that's not the goal for it. Yeah, we'll go with that. Maybe. Yeah, we'll go with this one. So, like I said, this one's a little bit different than what I would normally do. Actually, we kind of want to lean towards this one because you can get kind of chunky, not super chunky. I guess bulky would be the words. Although you could actually do like all the way to really chunky. You can have a really chunky person, but like I said, this one is a little bit different. This is a little special. So the idea behind this particular run, in a sense, is, and I want to go change hair. When I originally started doing YouTube and stuff, hold on, I got to, just so I can find the hair that I want, because it doesn't automatically show you, and you have to actually click on it multiple times. There is one that I use that's like real there we go. Just real simple. Go with that. I stop changing the body. I'm not trying to do all that. My controller is just being very sensitive. Where is fine tune? Because I think I have scars. I guess the scars are fine. We're not going to go super detailed into it. Like I said, this one is a bit different because when I first started recording and all that stuff, actually it's a tattoo. When I first started recording, I was very, what's the word? Why is it not doing what I want? What? There we go. When I first started to record, I keep stuttering over myself because I'm trying to do character creation and pick out the thing at the same time. But I was very in confidence, not the word. I had a lack of confidence. There we go. Let's just say it like that. We had a lack of confidence. And because of that, it was kind of awkward. And I think we'll go with Orient Preacher. Getting the 19 strength won't be too difficult, and we'll have the radiance already up. And I'm primarily going with that one just for spellcasting purposes, and there is going to be an area later on where you go to fight demons, or the Rogar, however they want to define it in this game, and having the radiant spells will be a little bit more convenient. And then getting up to the 19 strength for my sword, we can always get to that. So that's not going to be super hard. But, change name. This build is kind of a honor, a tribute to a friend of mine. And unfortunately, things happened to where I couldn't keep that friendship going the way I would have liked to, in a sense. I don't want to go too much into it because it is kind of sad. But essentially, this was a rather important person to me. When I was younger, I didn't really feel like I fit in as much, even though that probably was a lot just in my own head. And so this person, towards basically the end of my high school career, I ended up, bonding with them, funny enough, over their issues, my issues, and that person kind of gave me a little bit more of understanding, and after a little bit of awkwardness early on in the beginning, that person ended up being very encouraging to what I was doing. I didn't really feel confident about telling people about the YouTube stuff. Like, if you look at a lot of my older videos, just like very beginning, they're either not the best in terms of editing, or you hear like different sounds in the background. Like, you'll hear what is actually a smoke detector that's battery needed to be changed. You would hear like footsteps because I would be in the basement, and because of how my house is built, anyone who walks upstairs while I'm in the basement, you're gonna hear it. Or I would be in my room, and then my mother would come in and interrupt. And like I said, I was really kind of private with that type of stuff because I would watch YouTube, especially closer to when I started recording. And like my dad would come in, for example, and he'd be like, "What are you doing? Why do you watch this?" And you play the game. Like you're actually playing the game. Hold on, how do you run L3? It's been a minute since I actually played. I probably should have did a little bit of practice first, but I'll get into the swing of things easily. But like I was saying, he would come in and he'd be like, "What are you doing? Why are you?" And it wasn't like on some, "Why are you wasting your time doing?" Because he's the reason why I play video games in the first place. First games I ever played was Donkey Kong, Mortal Kombat, playing him in Killer Instinct, stuff like that. So it wasn't like that. It was more so one of those he just couldn't understand, though, why I had an interest in watching people play a game, especially if it was a game that I myself had and would play. And so it was kind of hard getting him to understand it because he was older. My dad had kids closer to his 40s. And so he grew up in a time where there was no cable, no internet, none of that stuff. Kids went outside and they played sports and stuff like that. And I just never really, got into that stuff as much. And so for me, it was one of those, like, I just really enjoyed it. Because when I was really, well, not really, really young, but before I started, having games readily available beyond just like the games that he had already had, PlayStation 1s, 2s, stuff like that, I would end up going to the library and watching, I messed up. I always do that. But I would end up going to the library and watching playthroughs and stuff like Fallout New Vegas, just games like that. And it was because I couldn't, or Mass Effect, I didn't have the games though. I couldn't easily get the games. I couldn't be like, "Someone buy me the game. I want the game." Either there was no money for it, or at least my dad did have the money, but he was still trying to get me to be more, outside the house. But like I was saying, I didn't really have the ability to just play nearly as easily. And so during that time, it was, go to the library, watch. And like I said, I also didn't have internet. So the only way to watch YouTube and stuff was to go to the library. Like when I stayed with my mother, we had the internet, but that was before, YouTube and stuff was something I was really into. Then it was all about cable, and internet was just a luxury. You had the old computer, you had to dial up. So it was really one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could watch TV. I mean, you could be on the internet, but if somebody was on the phone or wanted to use the phone, you lost your internet. But like I said, once I ended up staying with my dad for a bit, for reasons, but once I ended up doing that, because he was a truck driver, he didn't have cable. And so that was kind of how I got my fix on that type of stuff. You couldn't just watch X-Play and that type of stuff anymore because he didn't have cable. And so I always kind of had a thing for, games and watching them, playing them. It really wasn't that odd to me, but my dad didn't necessarily get it as much. And similar with other people. And then YouTube is already one of those things where it's like, even now, if you're not successful / really doing stuff, the mindset is there are more, tangible things that you could be doing other than, recording YouTube videos. It's not making you money. Not that it can't. I mean, there are plenty of people who are really out here making bread doing YouTube. Whether it's, living super comfortable or just like being, that's not the right button. Or, just passive and stuff like that. But I felt awkward doing it. I felt like I needed to have a certain, amount of success with it before I could really be like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. But with this person, I felt a lot more comfortable talking about it. It was easier. I want to say that is something I want. I'm going to go back around. Actually, do I have yeah, okay, I have a spell already. But yeah, like I was saying, it was just more comfortable. I felt more comfortable doing it. I didn't feel like I was going to be judged for it. And so it was really easy. And like I said, we ended up bonding a bit more. That wasn't even anything useful. But we ended up bonding, and turns out, which I didn't even really realize, I know she wanted to do YouTube, but didn't really realize they had a channel already. Had one before me by about a year, but I ended up like really diving into it. So I ended up having more content. Like I said, I spent a lot of time at home and I spent a lot of time alone. So for me, it was nothing to play the game, spend a bunch of time recording and all that type of stuff, even though I hated editing. But when I went off to college, that person, I didn't get to be around them nearly as much or interact with them. And I should have backed up. But before I went to college, I had an accident with my car. Actually, it was I should be smacking the shit out of you. Roll. I fucked up. But I had an accident, and by accident, I mean a asshole in a BMW hit my car. Actually, it was a van, but you get the drift. They messed up the van. And so I no longer had a vehicle. It kind of made things a little bit more awkward than it needed to have been. And then so, because of that, nice try. But because of that, it messed up my summer a bit. Because I was used to having a car, being the one who could go out and do stuff. In high school, people were asking me for a ride. And so it was one of those, like, it's weird for me. What? Oh, okay. For a second, it messed me up because I was like, wait, what? Who is it taking me to? But yeah. So she made that a lot easier. And when I got to college and stuff, I tried to keep in contact with them. That would be useful for online stuff. For people who are still playing the game, it will let you get a couple of other extra items. I want to say you run over here and grab this item real quick. This will be important for getting, that'll be important for getting one of the umbral scouring things. I'll show what that is in a second. But there's one that will not appear unless you have that in your inventory. And so you do want to grab that. It comes later on. You can always backtrack for it, but best to grab it now. But yeah, like I was saying, it was easy talking to her about it. And when I was in college, I tried to keep it going, but something happened and we ended up losing contact with each other. And I tried to find them a couple of times, like just on social media, stuff like that. And no success. Like literally no success at all. And eventually we did get back in contact, and they did end up, a couple of times being able to talk. Funny enough, it was actually, I was at church and I got a random message and I realized it was them. And so I tried to keep contact. And then after a while, ended up where she stopped responding again because of stuff that was going on in her life. And it really bothered me. It really messed me up. That's part of the reason why around the 2016, 2017 period, I slowed down in terms of recording and stuff quite a bit. because I was just going through a bunch of stuff while also trying to, adapt to, that college lifestyle, having that freedom, not being, because where I'm from is considered a small town, but it also isn't a small town. Like, it used to be big. But at the same time, now, with stuff happening, it ended up reducing its size by a fair amount. And then you had these other areas that ended up kind of like taking over. That's what I was referring to when I say the Umbral Scourings. There's one of these later on that if you don't pick up that one item that I picked up earlier, that flayed skin, won't be able to get it. It annoyed me because I was kind of doing a completionist thing. And I had got it on one character, didn't get it on another one, and was like, why don't I have it? But yeah, like I was saying, ended up just kind of messing with me a bit and having all those things just going on. I tried to record and I tried to do a bunch of stuff. And I also had started a job, a different job, because I actually had a job before, being a pizza delivery guy, but that ended up messing up my car. Like, I ended up getting another car, and then I felt bad because the fuel pump went out, and I didn't want my dad constantly paying for, car stuff. My dad worked a lot, and so I felt some type of way. It wasn't like it was, I don't want my father doing anything. It was just one of those, he's getting old. He's overworking himself as it is. I don't want to contribute to the overworking. Car messes up. Now I need to pick up extra time. And it's not that he had to. It's just how he was. And you couldn't tell him not to. So the only real way to do it was to avoid those types of things altogether. Excuse me. But anyway, like I was saying, it was just, a whole bunch of stuff going on with that one. And that's part of the reason why I ended up not doing as much as I wanted to. And I ended up slowing down a lot more than I thought I would have in terms of YouTube. With all those things combined. But recently, I've been doing a lot more with YouTube. It's not necessarily under the best reasons either, because unfortunately, in between jobs right now, I've mentioned this a couple of times, and I will probably continue to mention it until, oh shit, I'm fucking up. Respect that. Respect that buff. Anytime one of those enemies does that flame on shit, respect his buff. I did not time that dodge right. Now, in this game, it's like Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. You do get a second chance at life, even if you do die, but don't want to just be casually wasting that. But anyway, like I was saying, I ended up getting back into it because it was one of those things where it's like, I don't want to just sit around doing absolutely nothing. There's only so many applications you can, apply for at a time. And basically that's what I did all this morning. But again, after filling out like 20 applications, you kind of get to a point where you need a break. You need to do something else. So I ended up being in that position. So I've been doing that off and on. And that's part of the reason why I didn't stream as much. Like, I started streaming and then had to stop streaming. That was because since I'm not able to work, I haven't been able to find work, I should say. I've just been delving back into this because, like I said, when I initially started, I wanted to be able to be encouraging to people, give back in a sense. And for me, I actually don't need to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I want to be able to give back. When I was younger, I watched other people play. It got me through, being at the house, no cable, stuff like that. And I wanted to be able to do the same. And since, like I said, I wasn't working, this was what I did. And it's already awkward enough because you have that mindset of you want to, you have this mindset of you want to, take care of business, get stuff done. But if they're not hiring, if they're not calling back, if they're not emailing back after you call them, then there's pretty much nothing you can do. And I've been trying to stay positive about it because it's stressful. A lot of stuff just over these last 2 years basically had to do with money, and that was part of the reason why it ended up becoming such a massive, this long break that I never intended to be so long. Originally, when my father passed away, that was part of it. Then I was working a bunch. Then COVID happened. Then there was this one person that I was working with that I ended up talking to, but that fell through. And so I think I need to rest. I don't think I actually rested. But that ended up falling through. So that ended up messing with my mental a lot. And then I ended up getting, going from one job to 2 jobs because I just felt like I needed to. And just like a bunch of stuff. Like when I say a bunch of stuff, it was just like a bunch of different reasons that ultimately led to me, just never really being able to dive back into recording the way I would have liked to. And so after doing all of that stuff and even getting to the point where I purposely chose to stay in a car to save as much money, because when I went to school, I went off to school. I was about 2.5 hours away from my house. And so I ended up staying there because, incidentally enough, it was easier to get work there. At least back then, I assumed it would be. Now it actually ends up being the case where it just seems like, yeah, being where I was at probably would have been easier. But I couldn't afford to stay in the apartment anymore. Around 2023, halfway through it, I ended up getting out of the apartment because it was just one of those things like I can't justify it. I don't make enough. I can't deal with that. Not having the money that I needed to have to do the things that I needed to do. And I'm a simple person when it comes to stuff. So staying in the car really wasn't that bad. I did a bunch of research into van life type deal. So I was kind of already cool with it. And it was a truck, SUV, so I just kind of converted that into a camper, mostly because, like I said, work, and then the car itself ended up having issues, so driving it became a issue. And then after a while, I ended up kind of, again, being interested in someone. I worked at a different job. And I just kind of got to a point where I felt stupid, actually, because I had this stuff from my father when he passed away. I inherited properties, but at the same time, I felt like sticking around, being where I was made no sense. I felt like a lot of it was just because of the chick, and that wasn't even, I myself felt like that wasn't smart. I'm a guy who will put forth the work to get what he wants, but it comes a point where you kind of get to that point, like, are you really wasting your time for a chance to be with a person? And so that ended up having its own things. So I ended up getting another job, and I got hit. Oh, no. I'm going to die. I'm going to die because I'm stupid. No, you don't. Nice try. But yeah, I ended up kind of feeling some type of way. So eventually I ended up doing stuff to get another car. One that would actually be able to drive. And I ended up doing stuff like DoorDash, Shipped, alongside working another job. Don't need to go down. Hold on. No, that's definitely not destroyable. That's not destroyable. But, just along with doing that type of stuff to make money, and did more delivery driving stuff. And ultimately, I ended up getting into a car accident. I really feel as if, though, the person who did that was trying to get some stuff done on their car, because they were unemployed for 3 years. I don't know how the hell that works. Like, at least me being a man and how my father raised me, you just don't sit that long unemployed. I mean, I'm kind of used to it. My sister had long stints of being unemployed, quitting jobs because she didn't like them. I was that type of person where you don't quit a job because you don't like it, unless you got another job, at which case then you can quit the job because you don't like it. And so that was kind of the reason why I was doing a lot of what I was doing. I just wasn't able to record the way I wanted to. There was a bunch of stuff going on. And so, like I said, I just end up having a bunch of stuff go on, you know. So it ended up being a lot different than I ever intended on it being. And because of that, like I said, just recording wasn't an option. But around December of last year, I ended up falling and hurting my knee after the car accident. So the one job that I had, which was already very low paying, you know, it stopped paying anything really because they cut my hours exponentially. And the problem with that was with the poor in speech impediment, with the wage that I was getting, it was just like, yeah, I can't justify staying in my car anymore. I did that long enough, didn't feel like doing it anymore. And with, you know, basically only working 2 days a week, and between those 2 days, it was pretty much the equivalent of one full day, and then doing, you know, DoorDash type stuff. I couldn't justify it anymore. It wasn't justifiable. I couldn't do it. It really wasn't worth it. And because of that, and I'm probably going to die here. It's actually very much easier to just die. Not that this boss is super difficult. You can actually get away with this boss fairly easily. If you time your stuff right, if you do what you need to do. Pop that heal. You mother screwed my heal up. Yeah, like I said, it's just easier to die because you can get back up. That's one thing I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. Quests in this game are kind of annoying because you do have to die first to get your NPC summons. And I don't know if this is actually a part of the quest, but it does make getting Pieta a lot easier. I probably should have let the cutscene go. But I knew I was going to be coming right back, because that's also the reason why I dropped the Umbral Siege here, because I knew I was going to be dying. But this guy is going to join us in a fight to go deal with her. So that's going to make that 10 times easier. Like, literally 10 times easier. Also, there are these things over here that I should have grabbed while I was in Umbral. That way I didn't take damage. Those are basically fire resins. So they'll actually help me deal extra damage. We're going to summon the Iron Wayfarer. That's going on. We're going to equip our fire salts. I think you can get 3 of them total, but if I do it right, I won't need but 1. I think I'll let the cutscene play out this time. But yeah, like I was saying, just a bunch of stuff going on. And so all of that is kind of why everything has been the way it is. But the upside is it does let me get back to recording again. It lets me get back to doing something I would like to do, at least until I can find another job that will get the job done, until I can get an even better paying job, because I still have a lot of stuff that needs to get done. Just mental health and a lot of things kind of messed it up. And that's, again, now I can go full circle, which is why I'm doing this type of build. the person that this is themed after, or in honor of, I should say, it was mental health issues that kind of messed things up. And it's part of the reason why I care so much about mental health as something that needs to be focused on, because a lot of people kind of disregard mental health, not just because they don't understand it, but even when they understand it, it's still one of those things where a lot of people are just like, I don't have time to be concerned about this type of stuff. It just cannot matter, which is not fair, because, you can't just erase mental health. No matter how you want to slice it, mental health is important. And the only way that you're going to, what's the word? Why did that still do that? She's going to come down the middle. It's very much so scripted early on. I knew I was going to get hit on that sword. But like I was saying, it's something that should be focused on. You shouldn't just be, oh, okay, dodge that, good. It's not something that should just be ignored for the sake of ignoring things. Oh, no, okay, either he's dodging that, because at first I thought he could not be grabbed, but he rolled at that, so I think maybe he can be grabbed. Yeah, that's a grab. Don't get grabbed by that. I made a short about this. I don't know if it's because of the length, but I ended up getting dislikes on it, and that was kind of disappointing. Oh, I just walked straight into that. I don't know if it's because I referenced a bunch of Souls bosses, because that's just kind of my thing. I didn't even need the fire resins. This is why I say it's so much easier if you just summon him. Perfect meat shield. I'm not even going to use the resin. It's a waste of it. Come on. But this is why I say it's scripted. She does the same order every time. So it's center lane, then outer lane with the 2 clones, and then inner and outer lane. Yeah, I'm doing much better. I'm able to actually, I'm going to kill her without losing my mans. So that's cool. Bitch, how dare you? When I beat her the first time on my blind playthroughs and stuff, I parried her ass and got the kill. So that was kind of cool. But like I was saying, just a bunch of stuff like that. And because that ended up messing up the relationship, mental health, and then just over the years, especially recently, mental health being a very annoying issue that's kind of plagued me recently, I ended up, kind of thinking about them again. And, being more into YouTube, I ended up seeing a comment of hers. And it reminded me of her specifically today. I was already, kind of messed up, because I woke up and magically had Xbox again. Because of the whole not being able to work, I hadn't had money. So it was I was kind of confused as to how Xbox was still active. For weeks, had no Xbox because, couldn't pay it. And then I woke up and it just said Xbox paid. And I was thoroughly confused as to how that ended up working out, because I'm I didn't lose any money. Only had a couple bucks anyway. And it's I pressing the wrong button. But I only had a couple bucks anyway. So I'm how did that work? But I'm, one of those people where you count your blessings. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And it lets me get back to doing this. This is a game that I really like. Like I said, I like Souls-likes, and this is not a bad Souls-like. But yeah, since all of those things happen to correlate today, I ended up deciding that we're going to go for, another run through. And since my original attempt at recording it got messed up, like I said, those things ended up correlating, I decided that we're just going to do another fresh run, and we're going to do it in her honor. Because it was definitely, even for the brief amount of time that it was impactful. It definitely helped. Because I don't know if I'd ever really got to that point where I was able to really talk about it with people, because that was one of the first people that I could really open up to about, recording stuff. And it's kind of sad because I was looking forward to having her actually be more involved in it, get to editing stuff, be a part of it. And that just didn't happen. And so this is kind of my way of honoring what should have been, what could have been, what I would have liked to been, but unfortunately did not happen. I don't know how long I've been rambling on about that, but we have actually got to the point where we've pretty much opened up our main hub, and I'm gonna try not to skip dialogues. Now, I was talking over a lot of them, and I'm probably going to continue to talk over them. There's subtitles. I don't like reading myself, so I feel bad telling people, just read the subtitle. But I actually tried to record this twice. So you got to imagine, there are 2 playthroughs worth of up to level 50, where every time someone talked, I would go quiet, shut up, and let them talk. And then never got to use any of it. And then you saw all the other characters. So, of course, I'm just running through the dialogue. Because at that point, I've seen it. I've heard it. I don't care anymore. I already know the important parts. Dunmire over here is basically Father Nazgûs. If you've watched Berserk, I see him as Father Nazgûs, or Mazgûs. I think it's an M, actually. I love the way they talk in this game. Like, whoever wrote this, great word choices. But this is Father Mazgûs, and, like, he's the heretic hunter, basically. And because the other guy in the cutscene, opening cinematic, he got, we're now filling in for him. This guy ends up selling us some stuff. He's kind of annoyed because he's supposed to get this lamp. See what I mean? So he's kind of annoyed. Also, okay, I gotta get to old dude. Old dude who does all the Umbral stuff. He is my Dark Souls analog. So, Chosen Undead. I think in Dark Souls 2, this is where it's really like bearer of the curse. Like how Shanalot just like bearer of the curse. It just, the way that certain characters say certain words, it's just like peak acting to me. Even if it's not even that special, it's still just like, it just does something. And when he says bearer of the, I can't even do it. I'm going to do him a disservice, especially at this point at night, because right now my voice is kind of higher because my mic is trash, and if I don't speak at a little bit of a higher tone, and this is not necessarily even that much higher than my normal speaking voice, I'm already having to bury my face into the mic so that you guys can hear it. I have it turned up much higher than it probably should be, and so I have to kind of control every aspect of that. Otherwise, I think it's going to be screwy. And I still don't even know if this is like properly balanced. So that's another thing to bear with me. Unfortunately, I don't have 2 monitors. I have a laptop to, like, if people are to comment and stuff like that. So I could, see that, but I can't see what OBS is doing. I can't see the levels. And because of how it's set up, I don't think I actually can play it through the TV. Because if I do, I think it'll actually pick it up and it'll be echoing. Actually, I should probably be turning my headphones down because I'm so close to it that if it's super loud in my headphones. Okay, yeah, he's already said what he has to say. But if I'm super close to the mic with my headphones, if it's loud enough, you can actually pick up what my headphones say. So I probably should turn that down a bit. These 2 are just filler NPCs. I don't really know what they do, if they do anything. This over here is a shrine that you can use to get stuff. There's a couple of these different shrines, like multiplayer shrines and stuff, that you can interact with. That will be useful for like those plucked eyeballs, I believe they are. So yeah, I want to say pilfered coin. Okay, this is the coin one. So I think that's co-op. I missed this the first time on a bunch of different characters, but that's Aura of Tenacity. So that will actually be decent to have on this character. Although it does drain your magic, or your mana. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. This is a chick we just beat. Also, I'm going to call her name very differently. I'm not putting the extra enunciation on her name. I know it's technically Pieta, but that's Pieta. I'm sorry. And so we have our kind of forlorn soldier guy over there who was supposed to be a lamp bearer but kind of got finessed by us. We have Father Mosgus over there who is the heretic hunter. And then we have the devout blind idiot. Because how much this person speaks of Aureus and all this other stuff, you would think that there was no wrong. And unfortunately, kind of similar to the Souls series and a lot of series in general, if you put a church in a game for some strange reason, especially a Souls like, the church is not allowed to actually be good. It's just, it seems like it's an unwritten rule that the church is not allowed to be good. There's an NPC that we're going to end up talking to in a little bit, and he's just a pilgrim, and he wanted to serve the church, and the church basically hit him with a, "Be gone! How dare you come and mess with us, you dirty bum! We are the clean and great Church of Aureus. We don't have time for lowly, filthy guys like you," and this is the guy. This is who we want. I'm going to butcher his name, so I won't pronounce it. Molhu? Molhau? Yep, sorry about that. This is why. I got to hear it. Talk to me. Where is that? Nope, I think I actually have to go in to buy something. Carrion of Creation, that's what messes me up. Okay, nope. I think I have to actually go into purchase. Chosen bearer of a lamp. So he'll be your Umbral supplier. You'll get something pretty quickly, actually, that will upgrade his wares so he has more stuff to sell. Like I said, this game does a really good job at just giving you a bunch of stuff early on that you can either buy or you can wait and get for free. There's a couple different ways to go about it. Dunmire will pop up over here later on. You'll be opening up, actually we're going to be opening up some of the doors to this cathedral, church, crypt, whatever this actually is, sanctum. We'll be opening up that type of stuff very soon. Speaking of, I want to... That's annoying. But I'm going to dump strength because a weapon that I really want is pretty close, actually. Before, I kind of missed it. Like, I didn't realize you could get it so quickly, but you actually can get it relatively quickly if you follow or if you prioritize going this way first. It's kind of I want to say hidden area, but it is kind of obscured because you would think to just keep going forward, and if you do that, you'll miss it. You'll actually need to do a little bit of rolling and some turning around stuff. But we're going to talk to a dickhead. I don't like this guy. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to skip his stuff because I don't like him. He's a dick. There's a point later on where you're going to see a Umbral... I'm going to call them Umbral Scourings just because that's the items that you get, but I can't I think they're still like vestiges, memories, whatever they are. But you're gonna see. Actually, I think there needs to be a little bit more dialogue with him. But he's gonna kick. He's gonna kick a lamp bearer off, or a former lamp bearer, I believe. Yep, don't need any more of you. And he's just about the ego. You know, he's just trying to look good. You know, make himself get as much power as possible. And I just don't like him. That guy's a dick. And if I could push him off the cliff, I'd push him off the cliff. This guy over here will actually get to see his vestige memory in a minute.
If you're headed for Pilgrim's Perch, friend, the hallowed sentinels don't welcome everyone. Not even a faithful pilgrim who's crossed countless miles of land and sea to join them. All I wanted was to serve the divine judge cleric, but they deemed me unworthy and chased me off. What's a poor, rejected disciple to do now, I ask you?
Yeah, this is that guy. Remember when I said, you know, the church is never allowed to be good. you dirty, filthy peasant. How dare you? Well, this is that guy, and he ends up becoming a merchant. So he's actually a cool dude. I ended up referring to him a lot when I was recording it before as Grey Rat, because I always butcher this guy's name. I'm assuming it's Thaik. I'm not even gonna try it. That's Grey Rat. He basically goes around into different areas, and his wares will expand as you play the game. As he goes to different areas, and he'll eventually go back to the hub. But kind of like how you could send Grey Rat out in Dark Souls 3 to go and pillage stuff and upgrade his wares that way, this guy will do something similar. He just does it on his own. Also, those spear guys, or staff guys, actually, I think they are technically considered spears. But anyway, be careful of them on narrow edges. They can and will push you off. Up here, there are quite a few areas where you can, you know, accidentally roll to your death, because it doesn't necessarily show you, it doesn't show you every little pitfall, because it covers them up with destroyable barrels and stuff. I am going to do my best to grab as many of the items that I readily remember, but there are going to be things that I miss. It's just the nature of it. Like, even when I was doing this, amongst all of them, I ended up missing a bit of stuff, and it just kind of ends up being inconvenient, where you end up in this state where you're like, great, I didn't intend to miss something. I know it's there, but I get distracted by something else, and then you just outright miss it. But we're going to double back, come up here, because there's actually something else for us to grab. Actually, a couple things for us to grab. Now, you can do this without being in Umbral. I just do it because it's easier, and you're going to have to go up there anyway, so you may as well go into Umbral. Just be careful to not fall off. Kill this guy real quick. Again, careful not to fall off like I almost did. And then you come over here, and I think this is a fist weapon. Won't be using it, but I am kind of a collectionist, so I am going to do my best to grab all of the items. At least the ones that I already know about. And we're going to be kind of slow and careful with that one so that we don't regret our decision. And we are going to get, like I said, a fair amount of armor. Actually, we're going to pick up an armor set really quickly. But like I said, it does a really good job at giving you different things. You know, I didn't buy any of the items that I could have brought from those people, just because I don't need them right now. Like I said, we're going to be kind of speed running through a lot of the stuff just because I've already done it. And that enemy, that moth thing, eventually will be something that you can just body very easily. But for now, I recommend ignoring it, primarily because it's just not worth it. You're going to spend a lot of time, trying to kill it and not really getting a whole lot of stuff out of it. And then over here, mother fricker. This is the thing that's going to show us that our friend tried to come over here and grab some help, or come over here to join the church, but the church said no. Nah, you're a scrub. This guy is Crimson Rector. I think that Mr. Crimson Rector over here is the same Crimson Rector that we're going to end up fighting a little bit later on. It actually will be a little bit before we can get to him. We gotta go through a couple of areas first. Thank you for joining. But this guy, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get dropped by us. But there is a condition to that. There's an important condition, because this game does some very questionable decisions with certain things. One of those decisions happens to be, once you get to that area and you come out of this cave-like deal, there's going to be a branching path, one that connects you back to this area that we're in now, and then one that is going to lead you further down into the progression for the story. Well, the problem therein is this: if you accidentally go to the demon path first, you're gonna miss your Crimson Rector fight, and you will lose a ring, and that ring is for your actually, I do not want to be in Umbral for this, because again, if you're in Umbral, you don't get your Sekiro Shadows Die twice, i.e. if you die, you don't get to resurrect, you just die. Like I said, be careful of these dickheads, because they can shove you. I think their shove is unblockable, so even if you have the shield up, it's going to be hit for you. So we're going to nip back over here, and then we are going to... You son of a bitch! Stop hitting me in the back. I'm going to come over here, rest to get out of Umbral. Also, I hate jumps in this game, and we're going to have to do a couple jumps coming up soon. But like I said, if you follow the route that I end up going through, you'll pretty much grab all the stuff that you want. I had to learn it the hard way, so watch so that you don't have to learn it the hard way. I don't remember if there's anything over here. I think you get invincibility frames while you're going up. Yep, there is something over here. You mother... Oh, wow. All y'all gonna come up here. Okay. Everybody wanna come up here and get their ass beat? Alright. We got hammers for everybody. Dumb fucks. Anyway, Avowed Mace. Okay, that's not actually too bad. So another thing about this game, a lot of weapons will either be drops from enemies, or... Wait, am I missing something? I don't think so. They'll either be drops from enemies, or some NPCs will actually sell them. It's up to you whether or not you want to buy them. This is where we're going to come out later on, so after we fight our Crimson Rector. But like I said, depending upon how you want to go about it, you can either buy them or you can farm for them. I'm not exactly sure how you increase your luck stat. That one is something that and you saw it. Like I said, there's no blocking that. But you can parry. Also, parrying works a little bit different in this game than like a traditional Dark Souls or anything like that. It's more about just timing your block. You don't actually have to press like a parry. Ooh. Also, a lot of forward momentum, so be careful with your jumps. But all of those things you'll kind of get to. Right now, oh, wait. Grab that, so that's done. But yeah, like I said, a lot of this stuff right now we can just kind of bull rush through. Because I've done it. I've done it enough times to where I just know the easy way to do it. But also because it's not hard yet. Okay. That is one of those jumps that I really don't like. That jump, don't like it. It's kind of like 60-40 on whether or not I actually successfully hit that jump. But anyway, we'll nip over here. And once we nip over here, we're going to run past... Do I want to run past all these guys? I don't want to run past that guy. I was hoping that he would come forward by the time I finished charging it. So that's the other thing. It does have a heavy attack, which I really wasn't using as much as I probably could. You can also charge your heavy attack. So You can have a Bloodborne type deal. Yeah, I almost got flung off the cliff. I almost hit myself off the cliff. And there's one here. Knock your ass out. I think there's one or two more. We've gotten past the inconvenient parts, and we're almost at my sword. Yeah, almost at my sword that I can't use because I didn't use the class that lets you start off with it. Because I wanted to start off with having a spell, which is actually kind of dumb when you think about it, because the spell that I was doing all this for gets replaced pretty quickly. And I probably won't even use the spell a lot because it's really just not a whole lot of need for it. Like, a lot of the melee weapons do, or at least you can always find a melee weapon in a class that does pretty good for you early on. That's the best way to do it. And like I said, you're going to find a couple of great swords early on. The Crimson Rector sword is the one I'm going for, and that's basically a claymore. Like I said, fan of the clay. Those things are color dyes. So when you want to, not over here, when you want to, change the colors on outfits, they're not completely locked behind it. So you are able to, let's say you like the armor that you find, but you do not like the color that the armor's in. Well, if you find the tints, I think that's what they're called, you'll be able to get them. We will also find this NPC later on, actually, very quickly. It'll be one of the next things that we do. And what does this dumb chick decide to do? Sever her hand to some demon god. But she's also going to eventually end up being your infernal / I'm going to call her pyromancy seller. You need to do that because the bridge needs... I don't know why they thought this was cool. I feel like this was just done because of the whole Umbral lamp transition into Umbral type deal. I hate it. I hate platforming. Like, it's funny considering the first games that I played were like Mario and Donkey Kong. But in general, I don't want to platform. Especially in an action RPG like this and a Souls-like. It's just gonna bother me. And I know there are gonna be enemies that are gonna come out this wall. And that is the reason why I'm actually just waiting. Because I want to regain some health. And I know the moment I try and do what I want, the moment I try and use this bridge, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. It happens every time. The moment I want to use the bridge, they want to decide. I wonder if that's the trigger for it. Me actually trying to use this bridge. So we're going to get a glimpse of a couple of enemies that I dislike. Like I said, once you level up, like getting this weapon that I'm about to grab to +5, +6, pretty much makes all of the enemies that I'm talking about skip child's play. But grab that and run away. No reason to fight her. She sucks. Or it. I don't even know if you want to call that a her or not, but avoid the moth thing. Grab this very quickly because you're about to do a dance with the Reaper if you don't. Get away, and done. So as long as you're interacting with something, I believe you have invincibility frames. And the moment that you start to come out of Umbral, you're set. You shouldn't be getting plagued by any other annoying enemies. If they're in Umbral, you're set. As long as your lamp's not up. If your lamp is up and it hits you, it'll pull you into Umbral. Yes, I'm saying a bunch of stuff that has probably already been covered, but unfortunately, it's just how I work. But we're going to go through here, and we're going to do a quick little puzzle, and we're going to unlock our Pyromancer, or one of our Pyromancers. This is technically the first one that, well, see, because you can go either way, that's not even true. I was going to say this is technically the first one you can get, but this is actually not. No, this is actually the first one you can get. I take that back. Because the other one just talks to you. We'll see her a little bit later on, but as I think about it, she actually just talks to you. She gives you a free spell. She does that a couple times, actually. But you can't buy stuff. Whereas if you do this, you can actually you'll be able to buy stuff from her. Now, come over here, grab this. Like I said, this is going to be important because the things that they drop are for your boss weapons. Okay, that's a part of this. I never actually sit through it. Hold. This is important too. Just because if you happen to die, if you don't open this, you're going to have to go all the way around. You can't open it from the other side. Even though you have the key, doesn't open from the other side. So just save yourself the headache, because I have accidentally done that and made it to where I had to run all the way around. And this one's also a long little memory type deal. So I recommend just getting it started and see. I've already made a couple of extra errands that I would have otherwise been screwed over for. Or not screwed over, but it just, that one goes on for a minute. But we're going to pop 3 of these. We got one really easily. Didn't really need to do that, but because I'm low on health, I don't want to make the risk of actually failing it. Run over here to grab some loot. I think this gives us a pendant. I could be wrong. Poison sting. If I'm right, that is actually a pendant. And then come over here. And I just recommend doing it in this order, because if you do this order, then it'll put you out exactly where you need to be and you won't have to jump back down. All about saving those extra few seconds. But pop this guy. And then pull ourselves back over here. Then we got one more to pop, and then we'll be able to give her the talisman. Now, I don't know if you can just keep it and not give her the actual thing, and I'm pretty sure you can't continue her quest line, but I don't know if it'll like lock itself out if you decide to keep it and not give it to her, or if it will actually just be nice and wait. That I'm not 100% sure on. But I'm going to give it to her, A, for quest reasons, and B, I'm not using an infernal build. And even on the one that I did do, that was an infernal build. I just decided that I'll pick it up later. It is good in terms of damage output, and it also gives you 4 spell slots, which is very important. So that's another thing where this game kind of differs from like Dark Souls and the other ones, where attunement was a separate stat. The amount of spells that you can equip are actually based off of the particular catalyst that you're using. Different catalysts will have different damage outputs, and then there are rings and pendants that will give you more. This game is actually really flexible. Early on, you will find stuff that will let you cast, let's say, hand over searing accusation. It'll let you cast, let's say, infernal spells from your holy talisman or your radiant talisman, and vice versa. Cast radiant spells from your infernal catalyst. Or if you're an umbral build, you can have both of those rings on, even though you only get 2 slots. And then you can use all spells, so you won't have to switch catalyst at all. Vigor skulls, so that will give us our... Okay, so another thing... Vigor is what you're actually using to level up. I'm going to call them runes, souls, everything in between. Most of the time I will probably actually remember to call it vigor, but on the off chance that I do forget, that's what it is. Vigor skulls are basically like your soul of a nameless king, soul of a nameless knight, all that type of stuff. And I think in this game, it actually tells you what each one is worth. So that's very helpful. You don't even have to remember. Like I said, there's a lot of quality of life things that happen with this game. And it did just get an update, I believe, or not too long ago. I think the update technically would have been in like January. But still, like I said, it's actually very forgiving. But we've wrapped up pretty much all of the stuff in the easy to access Skyrest Bridge stuff. And then, if I'm right, we'll run back over here, and then we will try to talk to old girl. who will have left. Yep. She's going to leave. And then from there, her quest is continued. So now you can go back up. If you go through where you fought Pieta, she will have pyromancies and stuff for you to buy. Just low level ones for now. Once she moves, she'll sell more. But don't really need any of those. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything in between here and there. So now we get to go to our next area. And we have a boss fight or a mini boss, however you want to define it, coming up. But there are a couple of items for us to grab. And then I'm going to do some item management, because we actually will have acquired enough stuff for it to actually be worth it. But first off, we're going to grab, not that, this, which is a set of armor. And then there's this here. Really hate this. Really hate this. I, again, hate There we go. Hate platforming. Don't like it. Really don't like it. And so would prefer to not have to worry about screwing up my platforming. And that's why there is an item I'm going to actually skip, simply because I don't want to deal with the platforming. I don't think there's anything over here, but this chick, I want to talk to her. This is the dipshit that cut off her hand. Yeah, I don't know what she thought this was supposed to solve, but this is the dipshit that cuts off her hand. Yeah, she is the one who is like anti-church. She's your infernal, or the other infernal merchant, i.e. the other pyromancer. She does not want you to complete the mission of the Dark Crusaders, whereas eventually we'll get to a point where you can purify these pillars. She wants you to leave them be. She has her own plan in mind. And for all intents and purposes, we're not going to purify them because I don't know exactly how I'm going to end the game yet. And if you purify even one of them, you're locked out of her ending. She becomes an issue, and I think you end up having to fight her, which I think can screw you out of the Umbral ending too, because you need to use her for that as well. Okay, yeah. So if I'm right, she will have given us, yeah, so get conflagration, which is kind of like, it's not combustion, because combustion is something different in Dark Souls. This is the one that basically just lets you, it's the flamethrower spell. There we go. You just can call it the flamethrower spell. We're going to do Aura of Tenacity, actually, yeah. Because if I put it on A, I'm going to fuck it up actually, no. It's best to have this on A. For now. It's best to have it on A for now. Although, we can get Radiant Weapon, which we actually will be getting pretty soon. Yep. Upgrade our shield. I love that it is very clear what is and what is not heavy / light armor. I could buy other armor, but kind of not worth it. Actually, yeah, this is just because the physical defense is not important. This would help with our fire defense for the next boss that we're about to have, but I don't. She also uses physical, so I don't think it's necessary. Crap. I think this one will all around be, yep, all around better. Let us see. I think the other one's going to be all around, yep, all around better. And do we have anything? Actually, I'm pretty sure everything should be all around better than that one. So we'll do that. Okay. So we have a little bit more stuff to work with in terms of armor. So we're a little bit more beefy. And then we have found a decent amount of weapons. I did not know this was just like a base 8 Inferno. Yeah, we found this guy, 19 strength on it. We'll be getting that very quickly. This is another good Unga Boonga strength weapon, but I prefer the Ultra Great Sword as opposed to the hammers. It's just personal preference. Again, if you wanted to dual wield, you could, especially since this decided to drop, but I don't intend to mess with agility too much. Not until my strength is 19 and my vitality is 20. Radiance is good for a good minute. I shouldn't have to put anything into Radiance at all. To that end, I can probably change that because I think this character or this enemy that we're going to fight might be weak to Holy. Although I think she uses Holy, so I'm not 100% sure. Over here, that's a thing, but if you drop down, you can't get it, so we will get that later. Or I'll probably get it off screen. I think it's either just a small item or a tent. Can't really remember. But we have an actual boss fight coming up here. So, my recommendation, take these two out really, really quickly. Remember to grab this, because this is actually used later on for a quest. You could have got it from Dunmire if you had talked to him, but I didn't, because lazy. And pelt her quickly. Make her come up to you. Get all these free shots in. You want as much extra damage as you can get. You want to be efficient with your damage dealing. Now, I could have also, like I said, got Holy Weapon. But, you mother hubber. Yeah, it's being kind of lazy. Oh, come on. That shouldn't have done that. I was close. There was no reason for her to do that. Nope. Oh my. Stop this. Stop being... Okay. Oh, you mother... Yeah, that's the one you want to dodge. It's kind of easy to dodge it too. There's usually a good telegraph on it. As much as I think this is a... Oh my... As much as I think this is an easy fight, you can get yourself screwed over. And you don't want to... You know, hold on. I want to heal. Just because it's more efficient to heal while you're... It's more efficient to heal while you're alive. And I should be probably doing this a little bit slower. And what I usually... Oh, fuck. I'm doing this so bad. What I normally recommend is use the pillar to catch it. And then it'll just be pretty much just useless. Oh, no. Get my parry. I want my parry. Get a heal up. And free eats. Yeah, I'm doing this very bad. Because, again, she's not challenging. Oh, no. I'm saying she's not challenging and I'm about to take an L. I'm being arrogant. Yeah, I'm being very arrogant when I have no reason to be. Yeah, I don't have to be this bold. But, yeah, you're done now. One more hit, you gone. Yeah, like I said. And then they drop their armor. Of course, she drops the gauntlets and not the... I believe she becomes a normal enemy so you can farm up her stuff later on. But I would have loved for her to have dropped the Pyramid Head. Because Cone Head looks like Pyramid Head and it's actually kind of cool. Although we're going to get something soon that's going to replace it anyway. So it doesn't even matter. Yeah. See, most of her other stuff, except for the armor, I think the armor is decent. But, like, if you were to get the leg piece or the gauntlets, they do absolutely fuck all of nothing as far as I'm concerned. And then you want to do this. If you do it from here, that should pop those without causing damage to you. And this will get you... Wait, I need that. A Saintly Quintessence. And then now another thing to remember You can drop this here, but I don't recommend it. One of those Vestige Siege, which I'm pretty sure you get after every boss fight. It's going to be an easier spot because if you drop it up there, you'll be able to use it for farming early on. Now, I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. There's an item over here. Almost missed it. Just lacerating throwing knives too. Not as good as my tomahawk. Hate jumps in this game. But if you don't put it there, then you're going to have to go all the way back around, like I said, and go across the pillar, which not a huge fan of. But if you do, get away, out of my face. If you come over here, there'll be a bunch of umbral flower beds that you can use to set up your seed. And then you can do it. That way you get a little bit extra distance on you. And then you don't have to go as far. Upgrade. So we're 2 more away from having the strength that I want. Now typically I would say probably get your vigor. But I want to switch weapons because in this area, once you actually go through it, you will get the blacksmith and then you'll be able to upgrade. And once you're able to upgrade, if you have a weapon that you like, then you can start putting stats into it. And it'll make a lot of enemies, especially, I fucked up. I'm going to go back. I'm going back for a different reason, actually, though. See, I should have went to Old Dude from the get-go when I was in... Nope, not that one. And you can only have one seedling up. That's another thing that I want to mention, too. You can only have one seedling. But I should have talked to this guy. Because this will let me socket one of my... one of the items that we got. This is something I should have did before. Socket Umbral Eye. This will give us 2, and that will actually be useful. So it used to be 1 spear, now we have 2 spears. And once we warp and rest, we'll have 2 of them, and we'll actually be able to soul flay. Soul flaying is useful for certain enemies if they haven't patched it. But it's going to be useful because I can yeet and delete them. Because the enemy that you're going to be facing... it sucks. Now, also, you can go in Umbral and do all of this in Umbral, honestly, because you sick son of a bitch. You can do all of this in Umbral because ultimately, you're going to be going in and out multiple times. And because I know where everything's at, it's just efficient. But if you are in Umbral for extended periods of time, then you start dealing with that dread meter buildup, and that is something to take into consideration as you're, just going about. But this is what I mean. You're going to be in Umbral anyway because that's the only way for you to actually do, to progress. And that is one of the few things I do like about this game's platforming in a sense. That because of the Umbral world that is kind of like its alternate reality, kind of like the other world from Silent Hill in a sense, it gives a reason to actually have platforming because certain areas you will not see in the normal world. But over here, actually go here first because this is a shortcut. Kick the plank down. I actually missed one of those in the earlier area before Pieta. There was one that I tried to just jump down from there. But I don't want to just drop down from the other side because I might land over there, miss the landing, and then die. I want to be careful so I don't end up falling off. That's just an emote. I always think that's a color, a tint thing, but that's actually just an emote, so I risked my life for absolutely nothing. But this is the reason why you want your soul flays, because you can yeet and delete these enemies really quickly. You off the cliff. Also, sometimes you're going to want to keep an eye on them because sometimes they don't actually fall off. If you turn your back and they get stuck on something, sometimes they won't fall. So it is kind of inconvenient. Like I said, you will be in... I fucked up, actually. I actually fucked up because there's something over there. I should have waited. I should have waited just so I could keep it, because there is something over here. But going to the to those little statues and leaving out an Umbral is nice because it will reset the dread meter. So even if you don't really need to, it will be helpful because you won't have the build up. The build up is the problem. You don't want the build up. And we have a ring. I think we have a couple rings too. So we're gonna equip those. Have a necklace too. I don't really think that's gonna be super helpful, but our equipment load is kind of light right now, so every little perk helps. Every little perk helps. But I always end up missing that. There's another item that I'm probably gonna miss too. But actually, I think I already missed it. I think I already missed the item that I'm thinking of. It's kind of annoying because as I'm thinking about it, it would have let me just kind of... I think that's where you get your first bow. Really? I didn't kill you? Jerk. But yeah, that's how you get your first bow. More jumping. Yeah, these enemies aren't even really worth killing. They don't even drop a lot either. So, not even worth it. But if you're farming, because this whole run... Now, those husk type things, they're a little bit better. They'll drop like 80-something souls. Those guys drop like 2. So, they're not worth it. Yeah, I did. I'm seeing it now. I see where I missed it. Where I came out from in the very beginning next to the Vestige Sea is actually, you piece of shit, is actually an item that I missed. And it looks like I missed an... Yeah, I missed an item. I missed 2 of them. Now the question is do I really want to go back for them? I need to... Okay. I remember where they're at. I should be able to get them. We're going to be getting to a vestige soon, so it's not necessary. Actually, I'm tweaking. It's right here. It's right here. Actually, wrong button. So you drain these the way that you would like to get those invincible enemies away from, well, the things that make enemies invincible. That's how you would pop those. That way you don't blow yourself up. So I only missed 1 item. This, I think, either gives you a little bit of health or gives you blood defense. I can't remember. Jerk. You. Get out of here. Oh, no. Suck. Okay. Now, this guy, we're going to try and ignore him. Actually, not even try. Weird. Did I get him to run off the cliff? Yes, I did. Got him to run off the cliff. So that's one way you can do it. Also, so another thing is, so these umbral enemies, as you can see, they can be on the umbral ground, right? And they can also be on the normal ground. But a normal enemy cannot walk, they're not nav meshed, to walk on the umbral ground. So if you can trick them to running towards you on the umbral ground, they will just fall through the map and die. It's like they have no umbral presence, and so they just instantly fall and die. That is another way that you can get rid of a lot of enemies. And you can also soul flay them and just yank them forward, and that will also kill them. So, very helpful knowledge to know. I missed it. See what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Like, you're going to miss items. No matter how you slice it, you're going to miss items. I'm going to come back for that later on my own time. That item right there is a falchion. It's like 25 agility to use. It's not very important for our build. but I am going to point it out just because. Kick this down. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down and grab it. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I'm going to do it to myself. Please don't fall and kill yourself. All right. I am glad that you're able to see that from where you're at, because I would have probably just made myself have to go back later on and never actually went back and got it. But it's, like I said, it's not really useful to what we're going to be doing. Also, I've killed enough enemies or spent enough time. I don't know exactly how it works, but I regained one of my soul flay charges, so that is nice to know. And then we climb back up here, and then we get the Thorned Crimson Rector Sword. Thank you guys for joining. Over here, don't fall off and die like a dumbass. Thorned Crimson Rector. So if you want bleed damage on your claymore, that's how you get bleed damage on your claymore. Jump and run right over here and climb this ladder, because that asshole will kick you off. He'll charge into you and he will punch you off the cliff. You will be super shitty because you're about to be right next to a vestige, and not the funnest thing to die when you're literally right next to a vestige. I don't want you. I want to try and get the other guy. He must have already fallen off. I'm going to assume he's fallen off. And the annoying part is I'm certain he's still alive. Where is he? Yep, he is still alive because that thing is right down there. But so, not important. I'm going to do this. And then upgrade our character. This should give me almost enough for my damn sword. Almost. But that's all good. It's all good. We're going to talk to this guy over here.
Another lamb-bearer. Aye, so it goes. Should you end up one of the few to earn the vestige, I'll tend to it, as I do, for whatever it's worth, and until I'm in the ground myself.
Yep, this guy's going to be a useful quest guy later on.
Sentinels and Rogar on both
Actually, I guess I shouldn't say useful quest guy, because I don't know if he actually gives you anything, but he's going to be involved with someone who will have stuff for you. He's going to be looking for a pendant of a lost lover, which very much so makes me wonder, like, these are named after people. I'm wondering these are actually their bodies, because, I mean, they look very much so like, you know, actual humanoids. I don't think that's stone. I would say that's skeleton. So I would say that that is actually people that are just kind of been there long enough to embed into the side of a wall.
Whether you took up that light willingly or you're on a treacherous path, mind your step.
Yep, okay. That's everything. Grab this real quick. So now we have a couple of routes to go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do the extra stuff first. I'm going to do the extra stuff first primarily because of the fact that it gets you some armor. And then I can get a little bit beefier. And a little bit beefier is always better. And again, we're going to come up on one of those umbral moth bitches. And we are going to ignore them. We are going to... that. Go straight over to that. Grab that. That's a number umbral eye. And we're just going to run straight past everything else. Not even going to deal with it. Not wasting our time. Not interacting. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Actually, I take that back. Please pass go. Don't collect $200 though. It's not worth it. You can get $400 over here. If the assholes don't hit you. Thankfully, these guys' attacks, I'm pretty sure, only do umbral damage. So they don't actually do any of the physical damage. So even if you do get hit by them repeatedly, it actually won't chip down your overall health. Something else will need to hit you before you lose the overall health. Come over here to grab a tent. Yep. Pride Bond. And then you can do this. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that my dread meter was going up as much as it was. I almost set myself up for failure. Like I said, if the dread meter does go all the way up, you're going to get invaded by a Crimson Reaper. And that won't be fun at this level. And honestly, dealing with some of the stuff that you're going to be dealing with won't be fun at this level. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and pick off the range guys. Thankfully, the lock-ons are very forgiving. Yep, we're going to fight this knight over here. Yeah, I'm screwing up. I'm screwing up. No, thank you. His weapon is also pretty good. If you can get it, it'd be very nice. Hey, stop that. I know I'm being very dumb about... Oh, wait. I was about to say, wait, shouldn't I have a different shield? Ah, of course. Never wants to give me the good stuff. But his weapon and armor are actually pretty decent for this area. So, not like it's an absolute requirement, but it is decent. So, and then one thing I would do, hit this, and then regain on these little scrub enemies. They will pretty much all go in one hit, so you're going to have to kill them all if you want all your regain back. But don't forget to grab this. I didn't even realize that this was a thing. And I was annoyed because turns out that actually is what that is. I thought they were all just being like normal areas. Not the case. And then this you want to grab because that is a part of the quest for Dunmire that I forgot to start up again. Thankfully, with items like that, I'm pretty sure it's super forgiving. So even if you haven't already started up the quest, you can still collect the items, go back, talk to them, and it's not like it's going to be like, you were supposed to talk to me first. This will give us a helmet, I believe. Yep. So those spike guys, free helmet, although since they're very useful for farming, like very, very useful for farming, it's actually, you're going to probably have a bunch of them. Especially early on, that's probably what you're going to be farming. So just 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a bunch. But there's a free one. Not dealing with you. You, over there. Oh my god. No! That. No! I was hoping I would be fast enough to where I wouldn't have to wait. Heal. Heal. I'm gonna die. Heal. Now, thankfully, got away. Didn't die. I was gonna say, thankfully, if you do die, your runes, see, I said runes, your vigor will pop up on this side. Go away, jerks. And I think you gotta go down this way. Hey, buddy. Bye, buddy. Not fighting you. Actually, want to see, that's that thing I was talking about. That was that thing I was talking about where sometimes they just won't die. I don't know if I want to go down here just yet, because that's actually, I want to say that's the main area. I think this is just going to loop us back to something else. We don't need to. Oh, I'm going to die. Me being the fool was going to smack myself off into oblivion. Okay, yeah, this is actually that one area, if I'm right. So that's not useful. We want to actually be over here. We want to go down. Also, I believe you need to be an Umbral because none of this is here unless you're an Umbral. Nope, that actually cannot be the case because he would not fall there if that was the case. It's the stuff below. It's the next level down that is not there. I missed a free shortcut somehow. Not relevant. Don't care. I am low on healing items, so that is inconvenient though. But run over here. You want to grab that guy in the middle. This is what you need to upgrade your not to upgrade, but to wait, I messed up. That's what you want to grab so that you can expand old dude, bearer of the lamp guy. That guy, that's how you expand his inventory. So you do want to hurry up and grab that while you can. And if you're fast enough, you won't have to deal with the moth or any of the other enemies that spawn. Nip over here. Grab a vertebrae, umbral vertebrae. Can't exactly remember what that does. I think that's just a normal consumable that isn't as important. And actually, I did not miss my shortcut. You get the shortcut by coming over here. Drop down and then kick over. There we go. Now, the only inconvenient part is... Wait. Check for traps. Always check for traps. See what I mean? Always check for traps. Also, that's how you do your backstabs too. It's just like Bloodborne. You actually do need to charge them. And if you can get the charge attack, then you are set. Yeah, okay. Dropped him. Now, this is the sucky part. On account of you do actually need to fight this guy. But you can get a couple pot shots in if you're lucky. Come on. If you're really lucky and he's a retard, he'll just stand there. Hi there, buddy. He's actually not too difficult, except for that. That's annoying. That has a good amount of knockback, and it's very possible for you to get yourself killed. But this is also the way. I'm pretty sure you actually need to do this anyway just to even unlock what you need to unlock to go forward. But we go there. And then if I am correct, the last item that you need for that one quest that I keep referencing. No, wait. I think you do need to go around. Pick up item. I missed that before. But grab that one. And then there's one more that you need for this door. And I almost walked off a cliff into oblivion. That would not have been pleasant. That being said, get some free regain back. And then just nip down here. I'm pretty sure that this is actually Book of Sin. Yep, that's the last thing you need for Dunmire's quest. That will expand his inventory. So yeah, pretty much most of the merchants except for Forlorn Captain guy, I'm pretty sure all of their inventories can be expanded for the most part. You just gotta get the prerequisite stuff or do the prerequisite quest. Bry stones, I think that's what that is, are basically life gems. That's basically the life gem of the game. Actually kind of helpful. At first I ignored them, didn't really think too much about them, didn't really care about them, but they are actually kind of helpful. Again, I'm going to grab that because that will give us extra plucked eyeballs. Plucked eyeballs are useful for buying things. Now, you don't need to use any type of vestige here unless you're like really unconfident. Honestly, especially with the bright stones, 9 times out of 10, and I still one-tap that. But unless you really, really need it, you should be safe and you wouldn't have to worry about much. I am in Umbral though, so I do want to take that into consideration. Although there is a spot for me to drop down quickly. Don't want to drop down there, though. That will take enough damage. And we do have a little bit of a challenge here, so. I'm tweaking. Yeah. Especially if you only have the 1 health, or in my case, no health, or no healing items. You definitely want to grab that, because having Umbral will be a lifesaver. Because even if he does hit you, like I said, even if he does hit you and kill you, then you'll at least get the Umbral respawn, and you'll have another chance without having to do all that extra stuff. But the main reason is you could actually ignore all of this. Piece of shit. You could actually ignore this, and then he drops a key. Very important. But you can ignore this and then go up, unlock the shortcut. But I'm confident. I think I knocked an item behind the door. Well, that's inconvenient. 2 items over here, I believe. Bleak here. Oh, okay. That wasn't another item. That was just a candlelight. But there is another item up here. So these will actually come in handy too. So when you get to that 1 demon area, if you don't have radiant spells, now on my build I do, so it's not even really a problem. But let's say you're out of mana and you just want to switch to something. Well, now you have radiant bolts. So if you have a crossbow, then you'd be able to easily go back and forth. Now, where's the door? Insult to Gerlinda's skills. Yeah, so this is your smith. I'm just gonna call her a dwarf. I mean, like, she's short, she's stocky, she's strong, and she smiths. This is the stereotypical dwarf. I think they have a different name in this game, but give her a prison key, because then you can get your stuff upgraded. She also is a merchant, also can expand her inventory via a quest. So, again, want to grab it. I don't know how many upgrade materials that I have, so I don't know if running through this next boss area or getting anything upgraded is actually even going to be feasible. Yeah, not relevant. Again, not even really relevant to do anything with her right now, because now that that is open, she's going to go back to Skybreast. But come in here, grab this. I think it's a ring. Yep. And then nip back out before it closes. And then if you go over here, kill this guy because he's going to come around the corner like a dickhead. Goodbye to you. And now we've unlocked the shortcut. And then I do think I'm going to go, well, actually, I'm going to rest at the bonfire. Now I'm calling them bonfires. I'm going to rest at the vestige. And after I rest at the vestige, I'm going to come back down here, grab the upgrade mats, then go back to where you rest. The sky rest. Also, I'm going to upgrade so I can even wield my sword. So, all around, good day. Rest to get all my stuff back. We will have to fight that one guy again, but this is pretty much the only other way to get this NPC to move, and we do want her to move, because that's the only way to get the upgrade materials. And if you really want to, you can actually just kind of ignore him. Once you come down here and knock out old boy over here again, because he's going to chase after you, because he's a scrub lord. Grab his items, because again, the nice thing is you can sell stuff in this game. So let's say you don't actually care to use half the stuff you get. Like, I'll be able to buff up my weapon pretty much independently. Come back here. I'll be able to upgrade my... Aw, I was not trying to. Okay, so the annoying part is I did the soul flay, not taking into account I might get hit by I might pull the dog. And because I pulled the dog, I couldn't focus on hitting him. If you do the soul flay thing like I did, you actually need to hit the enemy before they hit you, because they can regain their health back just like you can regain your health back. But again, not the biggest concern. And now, upgrade materials. But with all of that said, we have officially grabbed all of the items within these last couple of areas, and then there will be a boss fight, which is what we're going to probably wrap up on. But before, that's not where I want to go. Before we wrap up on our boss fight, like I said, we are going to use our new armor. I don't think it actually comes with legs. Yeah, you don't get any new leg pieces with that, but I do think you get a new headpiece. Actually, it's irrelevant because that's going to be the better headpiece. All in all, just like really good. I think this one, yeah, that one increases vitality. I think this one gives you, yeah, that's status effects, bleed resistance. So yeah, in terms of rings and stuff, that's going to be the best one. Increases max health. That'll be convenient. And then, I guess since I am going to be using the sword now, because I have no endurance, so let's see if we can go even lighter. I'm still slightly heavy. That's annoying. Stamina would be decent. Vitality. Oh, that's actually increasing my endurance. Or for some reason, that's affecting my endurance. I'm actually kind of confused by that. The extra little bit of health's just not worth it. And that'll let me use my sword. Yep, there we go. You know what? Nah, it's not worth it still. See, the problem is I could do the plucked eyeballs thing. I'm pretty sure those are very common in that area. Like, people are intentionally dying there just so that people can get those plucked eyeballs. The thing is until your weapon is at least a +3, killing him straight up is kind of inconvenient. Dunmire did leave. And he's over here.
Remain your most pressing task. I would have you perform another for me concurrently. Seek out and return to
Already got you, bro.
which stand as proof of the Hallowed Sentinel's heretical deviations and practices.
Yeah, I've already grabbed all of the items that you want, big dog.
Of Aureus,
Yeah, True Light of Aureus, my ass.
overflowing with sin. So I expect this undertaking to offer you little difficulty. Also, say nothing of this to Pietao or the Fidelis captain. They are already conflicted. Troubling them further only endangers them and our mission.
And if you watch Berserk, you'll understand now why I call him Father Moscus. But yeah, all of these items, okay, they're all going to be the same thing, so I'm just skipping that one. But all three of these, and then the Book of Sin, hand that over,
All facets of the
talk to him.
Crusaders accompanied me to Mornstead. One, a paladin who sacrificed
And this is going to give you a further quest to go and deal with a person later on.
who revealed herself to be an apostate and thief. When she stole the apparatus with which I am able to converse with the Council of Overseers. An apparatus
Ultimately, though, because again, none of this really matters, this is going to get you a couple of extra. I think it's going to get your spell, but the more important thing this one gets you so far is going to get you armor. This is going to get you some armor.
poisonous lies Derva may spit at you.
And they are actually fairly decent sets,
Blasphemies of a
especially if you didn't already find any from, enemy drops or, enemies being defeated. Radiant Weapon is helpful, but I'm going to upgrade my weapon first before I mess with that. I want to say that I need to rest before it resets. I'm almost certain I need to rest before it resets. And I'm going to go into Umbral, because a similar deal with this guy. Now that I have the Bowl of Revelations, yep. Yeah, you're the only one who gets special treatment in terms of talking. And his actually, no, his just pops up automatically. Although I think there are still some other ones that will occur. Like, there's a ring that he sells. There's a couple of things with him. Wait, I'm heavy. Why am I heavy? I promise you it was light rolling before. Okay. Screw that. Just going to drop those completely. And then rest to get out of that. And if we go back and talk to our friend Dunmire down there, she should actually have some new stuff. Which, again, I can't do anything with right now just because of super low endurance and low vitality. But that's not super important. So yeah, he ends up selling a couple of new armor sets. This radiant weapon will be useful, and I'm definitely going to get that. We are drawing near to the end of where I wanted to get to for today. I am curious. Where does it show that? What does it show the overall time at? Do I need to back all the way out of the game before I can see where the overall time is? That's inconvenient. But we can go up here and we can talk to this guy. Or this chick, actually.
Gerlinda found herself a place to do a little business. She hasn't seen any other folk since arriving in this shithole kingdom. But, grower or human, sturdy armor and lethal weapons are a universal.
Yes, and okay, I'm gonna skip through this because God, she talks, he talks, they talk, they actually have this banter back and forth. It's actually inconvenient. She's asking you to go get some crystal tablets, which will upgrade her skills and abilities to sell you stuff and enhance your weapons even further. All I want to do is upgrade my Crimson Rector. That is literally all I want to do. I'm gonna get it to +3. I am too low. How low am I? 400 low. Let's see what I can sell. Orient Preacher. Don't need 2 of those. Every little bit counts. We're going to go over this way. Yeah, unfortunately, we did not get a lot of drops and stuff, so. Can't get rid of the Pilgrim's bandages, though. But yeah, we didn't get as many drops as I would like. And we didn't farm up anything really. So unfortunately not going to be able to do it that way. So we'll actually have to use our Vigor Skulls. Use one of those. And then I can upgrade this again. Huh? Insufficient material. Oh. Huh? Wait a second. Hold on. Purchase. Oh, great. You actually don't have any. Oh. So I guess I was always just lucky and the items dropped in it. Oh, no. I actually know what happened. I know what happens. After the next boss, that'll be the first time that you can interact with old dude. That's what it is. After the next boss. So what I will do, and I don't even know if it's going to be, efficient using this, because I think that enemy might actually resist holy, because they do use holy damage. But I am going to grab that because it is still going to be a slight boost to our damage. Aura of Tenacity. Also, the reason why I'm not upgrading this is because I'm going to get a much better one very soon. And so just no reason to upgrade that one. And pretty much all of our upgrade materials will be going primarily focused into our Crimson Rector for now. But now that we have that, we can warp to Bell Room and we can get our next boss fight. And then after that one, like I said, probably gonna call it. We're gonna probably end up pumping vitality and endurance, since we now have pretty much everything we need for the basis of our build. This is kind of a strength faith hybrid type deal. Although other stats might get allocated depending on what I really want to do. But come on. Nice try. Yeah, see. Nice damage. Now we're in 2-hit mode. And we always want to get that extra damage. Now, the only other inconvenient... I didn't know that was going to be that far. The only other inconvenient part is the fact that we are severely lacking on vitality. Because I did want to get the sword, and I didn't want to change the stats or change the class. Because if I chose the Warwolf, probably would have, well, not probably, would have had the sword, no problem. It only would have took 3 more levels into strength. The problem is if I wanted to have the faith aspect, which I kind of did, then I wouldn't be able to, I would not be able to do what I want to do. So that's the inconvenient part. I wouldn't be able to actually get, I wouldn't be able to have my faith stuff as easy, because that would be going for like 10 or 9. It's rather low, so I'd end up pumping all of that into faith, and then I wouldn't have any ranged magic. And the real deal is I really just want to be able to buff my sword, and that makes a big difference with some of the other areas that we will, end up going into. Like, we're going to be going into a poison swamp soon. See what I mean? She's the literal definition of anti-church. She is not cool with the church. She is down with the heresy. Or, see, now the funny part is both sides consider the other to be heretics. Same, 2 different sides of the same coin when you think about it. Yep. Don't really care, damn Rose. But she does sell stuff, and this is basically power within, I believe. Except for I don't think it drains your health. And eventually you will need to buy that if you want to get all of the throwing items for that particular quest line. But we are going to... Yep, 300. We should be set. So this boss is actually not that difficult. If you stay on their ass... Yeah, the thing is, if you stay on their ass, they won't even try and use the bow. Bitch. No. Okay, yeah. If you stay on them, they won't even get to use the bow. And then you'll just have to dodge their sword. Dodge that. They can teleport around. Ah, you jerk. Jerk. Also, those dogs will continually respawn unless you're able to just power through her like I can. And that is the reason why I did what I did. Because this boss becomes child's play if it's fully buffed up. Buffed up, upgraded sword. You can actually clear this pretty quickly and pretty easily. And then we come down here. And after we get down here, we'll be making our way to the early area of the swamp. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hit you with the double feature. Because here, there is another boss fight. And so, let's see. Yep, might as well. I probably shouldn't have actually have done that, because as I'm thinking about it, when I talk to this guy and buy his upgrade mat, I might be too low now.
Apologies for the dour mood you found me in when last we met, but I've perked up since then. Found myself a new purpose, at least something to keep me occupied while in Mornstead. I'm going to be a traveling merchant. Please, peruse my wares. Hopefully you'll see something of interest.
Yep. So now I can actually go even higher. He actually sells 10 of the next level.
I'm just putting to
So I could go a significantly amount higher.
in it.
But it starts to get more and more expensive. It'll be like 15
Hello again.
for the next one. Actually, I don't think that works the way I thought it was going to work. I'm just not, that does not work the way I thought it was going to work. So what we will actually do instead is we will buy 4 poison cures. Because it actually is not that. We need the twin delirium, I believe. Not the small delirium nuggets. So that actually does not work the way I would like it to have worked. Because unfortunately... damn you, +3. Grab that, which would be the map. And I want to rest. I did not rest. I just activated it and leveled up. I don't actually think that's a big concern, but I am going to do it just in case, just because it'd be more convenient to have all of them all 4 of my healings instead of just a couple. Unless I have another Saintly Quintessence, which I'm completely forgetting about. Do I have another Saintly Quintessence that I'm completely forgetting about? I have another Saintly Quintessence. It might actually take 2. I can't remember. I think it actually might take 2. Yeah, I'm almost certain it's going to take 2. But the real deal is by having this, it'll make it stronger, which means it'll heal more health for me, so I won't have to use them as often. So I can still upgrade it.
Warriors of the Dawn were misguided, harboring fundamental misinterpretations of Aureus' divine will and works.
See what I mean? And this is literally just the dogmatic church girl.
Their teachings
She's not even willing to question them.
of Aureus, not its stonework which maintained this great structure. And yet, despite their ignorance, the bridge to stand.
I'm being pedantic here, but I see no light of Aureus. I see immaculate stone. I'm just playing. I know what she's trying to get at. It's just the fact that she's the dogmatic church girl.
May Aureus' divine radiance
Now I think the next time it's gonna require 2. I am going to double check just because.
holy work continues.
Nope. Okay, so I only need 1 more, then we'll get 5, and then it'll need 2. So that's convenient. But we are going to right back to the lookout, because we have 1 more boss fight in this session, and then we'll be going. So I think we did pretty well. We got, I'm gonna call him Unix Gunder because I can't remember his name, but the first boss, then Pieta herself, then the Scourge sister girl, and then that one chick, and then this guy. So that's 5. Not bad. I'm gonna say that's not bad at all. And it's funny how you just like bing straight on top of this like mash of flesh. What if he was actually like ready for your ass and he just like yoinked you out for sky as you were falling and said, "Num num 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 num, yummy! I'm hungry. Give me that food, boy." Like, you can see it obviously looking for people. Doesn't care who. But this guy is not so bad. This is one of our first big enemies. Oh, you fucking bitch. Yep, so not a super big challenge. You can stay on its ass and do damage that way. And again, with Holy, be careful of that. With Holy, you do a good amount of damage. It's again, you're gonna be +2. He's gonna drop. He has a couple of different attacks. He can drop bodies out the sky. He can charge you. He can jump up. He can do a wave of bile. He's usually going to use that arm of his to that. He'll use that arm of his, so be careful. And that's that charge that I was talking about. But again, you can already see he's like already at half health. So he is not too difficult. You do want to pay attention. He does bleed damage, and I think he can poison you as well. Yeah, he can poison you as well. That is part of the reason why I brought those poison cures. Dodge into that. You are gonna piss me off. Pop that so I'm not getting poisoned. And then this is his body rain attack. And like I said, she's not really that bad. It's kind of a pushover. I'm saying that while almost getting killed. But again, it doesn't matter. I'm in my living form, so even if I do die, I can respawn in Umbral. And you actually want to be an Umbral at the end because you're going to have to pick up his vestige. Not concerned about you at all. I'm making this game look much easier than it probably is to like a newcomer or anything. But in my defense, like I said, I've beaten these bosses so many times. At least these early couple ones, that it's nothing to me. This is actually nothing to me. But no reason to use any of your vestige seeds or anything like that. You will get another actual vestige very soon. But this is how you're going to get his remembrance. And with his remembrance, you will be able to get his body spell. And I think you get a spear. So, not bad. But this will bring you into the legit Putrid Swamp. See, now you have his remembrance. Honestly, you don't even need to stop for that, like I said, because it's just going to be a vestige over here anyway. So, run over here, grab a couple of items. But yeah, I always do that every time, without fail. But yeah, it was actually pretty decent for, a quick run. I want to say I probably knocked most of this out in like just over 2 hours. Around that. I'm not sure exactly on the like this is one of those games where I could probably play for longer periods of time. But it is late. I wanted to have got a jump on this earlier, but I ended up playing the game with my buddy. We ended up playing Call of Duty, and the new map ended up actually taking a fair amount of time. And because the new map ended up taking a fair amount of time, okay, I'm not doing that. It's much further than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like one of these enemies over here, but it actually is not. And like I said, our vestige tender is over here now. And okay, I was about to say, I hope I didn't warp somewhere, but I couldn't have warped because I would have had to select the location.
March, eh? I hope it's not for any kind of glory, because you won't find a sniff of that in Mondstadt. And certainly I hope it's not in the name of the
Yeah, you're kind of jaded.
because take my word for it, they're no better than the Rogar.
See what I mean? The church is no good. It's like in every game like this, the church can never be good. I don't know why. Church is never allowed to be good.
Umbral or struggle against it is none of my concern. Power is a sweet temptation. The lamp will grant you that, sure enough. But don't confuse that with loyalty. Still, I'll not deny. I owe Umbral for giving me what it did. So the vestiges will be minded as long as I'm able.
Yeah, there's no ulterior motive with that at all.
By the way, I'll be around. Always am.
Name's Byron? Yep, okay. So, like I said, we did pretty good. We did pretty good. We're going to level up our character here. Got 8,000. And we got 5 bosses already knocked out. We're sitting at a clean level 25. Level 6, well, not level 16, but 16 vitality. So that's going to be good. Increase our health bar a nice little amount. Yeah, there we go. So we increased our health bar a good little amount. And then the next things that we will be focusing in on will likely be character. Yeah, the next thing we'll probably end up focusing in on. Oh yeah, because I have the ring on. That's gonna give us +3. +3. How am I getting plus? I don't know. Yeah, it's the ring. It's literally this ring here. +3. Okay. I'm used to having the other ring that you buy from Captain of the Fidelis, so I'm not actually used to having whatchamacallit. Also, what's messing me up is apparently increasing my vitality. Well, that makes sense, because usually even in Dark Souls, just increasing stats will increase your overall equipment burden, and then you actually are able to do a little bit more. But we now have pants. We're doing really well. We have pants now. We have, a talisman on, and we're going to get another talisman soon, too. We're going to get some other rings. We're going to get another catalyst in this area. So we're actually pumping through really, really nicely, making good headway. But in terms of recording, like I said, I ended up, my toes still out, though. I ain't a fan of that. But yeah, I would have recorded a little bit longer, but I ended up playing with my buddy. And with it being Sunday, most people are going to be going to bed soon, if they haven't already. But again, that's why I do it on YouTube. That way, people who miss it, they're able to come back and watch it later. But that gives you your poison, which will be helpful depending on certain areas. Won't be as helpful here, although like having a poison buff, there's still like a flat damage increase. Although I think they'll be resistant to the poison status effect. Don't count me on that. I mean, don't quote me on that one. But like I said, we're going to be trying to stay a little bit more active in terms of recording as long as we can and get up as much content. And then that way, if we do end up disappearing because we get another job or power, internet, and stuff like that ends up going out, unfortunately, at least there'll be a backlog of modern stuff that is hopefully a little bit better than just the old stuff. But like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. It was nice being able to take my mind off of it for a little bit, especially because, like I said, these last couple of days, or not these last couple of days, but today in particular, I should say, thinking about the past, and then now I can say these last couple of days thinking about just like all the crap that's going on has been weighing on me. So it's a nice distraction, and hopefully when you guys watch it, it can be that type of distraction for you guys as well. And then you'll be able to jump back into taking care of the business that you got to take care of. And then when you're done, remember to come back and watch more content. So hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And we will see you guys in the next part.